Hello, welcome to the Menopausal Weight Loss Breakthrough. I'm Linda Johnson, your host, and I want to introduce to you today Laura Ulrich. After 3 decades in women's wellness, Laura Ulrich knows firsthand that menopause doesn't have to mean accepting weight gain, exhaustion, or feeling like a stranger in your body. As a certified holistic nutritionist, metabolism specialist, and menopause health coach, she has walked the path herself, navigating many health struggles and the same hormonal chaos that her clients face. Laura helps women cut through the noise with straightforward, science backed strategies that fit into real life. She's guided thousands of women to shed their menopausal middle, reclaim their energy, and balance hormones naturally. Her approach is simple: no deprivation, real solutions, and results that last. Thank you for being here, Laura. We can hardly wait to hear what all you have to share with us.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today.
Great. Now, what most people don't know about you is that this work is personal. So, will you share with us your experience?
Absolutely. So, as Linda shared, I've been had my business in nutrition and wellness for really over 30 years now, which is pretty hard to believe, right? It's like, wow, how could it be that long? But I actually grew up very, very sick. So it even started before the menopause journey, right? I grew up with asthma, allergies, thyroid issues, fibromyalgia before it was a word. I had a liver disease, like so many food allergies, weight struggles, even as a wellness practitioner. And then going through perimenopause, which I thought I should know what was going on. I didn't even know what was happening when I was going through perimenopause. And then when I was 52, back in November of 2019, I had a total hysterectomy where they removed both tubes, both ovaries, my cervix, my uterus, because we thought that I had cancer, which gratefully I didn't. However, I still had my period at the time. And forced menopause, that was no joke. And so for the first year, I basically white knuckled it. And then I thought I was going absolutely crazy. And looking back, I now understand all of the years that I was going through perimenopause where I didn't feel like I was myself. I felt like a stranger in my own body. Like I actually lived in Alaska and I couldn't take the cold anymore. And so I told my husband if he didn't want to move with me to Florida, which is where we now live, that we'd have to have a bigger conversation because I wasn't able to stay in Alaska anymore because the cold was affecting me physically, mentally, and spiritually. It was just like absolutely amazing the things that were going on with my body. And no matter what I tried, nothing was working. I was even struggling with weight again, going through the menopause journey. And I finally realized that the strategies that worked for me, as well as my clients when we were in our 20s and our 30s, were not going to work anymore because this is a new journey that we're in. Our hormones require different information and different love, if you will. And so just basically understanding the how important insulin and of course cortisol too, but insulin as the foundation for metabolic health, how important that is and was for me and all of my clients. It's just really drives everything that I do now because I'm not just trained in this, I live it every single day of my life.
Wow, you have really been through a lot. So, I know you have a lot of compassion for your clients. That's great to hear.
Thank you,
Now,
Linda.
there is a hormonal shift during perimenopause, and the eat less, move more that we've all been told for years that actually backfires. So, can you tell us what's really going on with estrogen and insulin at that time?
Absolutely. And so this is the piece that really changes everything when women finally hear it and understand it. Because when estrogen declines, your cells become less responsive to insulin. So your body has to pump more insulin out to do the same job. And more insulin means more fat storage, especially around the middle, right? That belly fat that we all hate, and less ability to burn fat for fuel. And so now here's where it backfires because when we slash our calories and we push through harder workouts, you spike your cortisol. And cortisol drives insulin even higher. So you're genuinely working hard and making the metabolic problem worse at the same time. And that's not a willpower failure, that's biology, right? You're not doing it wrong. We're just using a strategy that was never designed for this hormonal environment. And because of all of that, when we now eat the same foods, right? I hear it all the time from ladies. I'm eating the same things and all of a sudden I'm gaining weight. Well, it isn't really all of a sudden, but the reason is because now that the insulin is pumping out even more, when we eat those same foods that spiked our blood sugar, now it drives insulin even higher, right? So we have this big roller coaster. Insulin's job is to store fat, then we crash and burn, and then we feel like we're starving, and then we eat more. And that's really what's going on. And so when we understand the insulin factor, then we are able to do or not do things where our body will respond the way we want it to.
Okay. Yes, that's very interesting. And it's good to know because so many women, they don't know what's going on. Like, what happened to me? I thought I was doing everything good like I always have, or the same as I always have. And then when it doesn't work, you feel like your body has betrayed you, but it really hasn't.
Absolutely. It absolutely feels like your body betrays you. And a lot of times I'm talking about a mindset shift with my clients because it's not that we're doing something wrong, it's that the rules have changed. And we just need to know how to play by the rules for this hormonal environment. And then we can give our body what it needs so that we get the results that we want.
Yeah, okay, that's true. There's probably a lot of women listening right now that they've been told, when they have these symptoms that, oh, it's just stress, it's just aging, you're just getting older. But really, what does their blood sugar instability actually feel like in their body? And how can someone know if that's what they're dealing with?
Such a good question. And this one I feel very strongly about because women are sitting in the doctor's offices being told just like what you said, right? It's just stress or it's just part of getting older and walking out with no real answers. I even hear clients in their 70s being, "Oh, you're just older, it's okay." It doesn't matter what age we are, right? Whether we're in our 30s, 40s, mid 30s typically is when perimenopause can start to happen. So 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s we can do something about it. And so let me be specific because that 3 p.m. energy crash, that waking up at 3 a.m. with your mind racing and not being able to fall back asleep. Anybody out there? I can visualize all the ladies raising their hands. Feeling irritable or shaky between meals, brain fog so bad that you're losing your words mid-sentence. I remember that so well. Even in post-menopause, that was happening to me. Belly fat that won't budge no matter what you do. Those are not random menopause symptoms. Those are metabolic symptoms. That is blood sugar instability. That's insulin resistance showing up in your life daily. And like I said, once we name it correctly, we can actually address it, as well as the part about the estrogen declining. Absolutely, we get those symptoms from estrogen declining, but it's even worse when that insulin instability is going on. So that's why I'm saying if it's like so bad where you've got the 3 p.m. energy crash, the 3 a.m. wake up, the belly fat that won't budge, it's not just an estrogen issue, it's an insulin issue.
Wow, and those two together are really making each, yeah, bigger. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So if someone that's listening today has been under eating and over exercising, thinking that's what they need to do, what are really the first two or three metabolic shifts that are actually going to work with her hormones right now?
First thing, and I say this to every single person that I work with, is stop skipping meals and start eating your meals evenly spaced throughout the day. Think about every 3 to 4 hours like it's your job. Like, remember when we had the kids, they had to eat at certain times or they would get cranky, right? Same thing with our body. We want to stop skipping meals, eat evenly spaced meals throughout the day, and make sure that you're eating protein at every single meal. Aim for a minimum of 30 grams of protein per meal, right? We eat 3 meals a day. Some of my clients are doing 3 meals, one snack. This one shift stabilizes your blood sugar and preserves your muscle mass so that it keeps your metabolism running and also reduces cravings within days, not weeks. I'm talking days. And then from there, we look at the glycemic load of what you're eating. So I'm not talking about extremes and not being obsessive. I'm talking swapping out foods that spike your blood sugar, like refined carbs, sugary snacks, anything that's processed, and swap it for foods that are going to keep your blood sugar stable. Think eggs, salmon, chicken, loads of non-starchy vegetables, like at least 2 cups. And sometimes ladies go, "What? 2 cups?" Ladies, this is a cup. That's it. Your fist is 1 cup. That's it. So when we combine that protein with the low glycemic carbohydrates, aka vegetables, with a little bit of fat, we are eating satisfying foods that don't send insulin through the roof. And then a third one is sleep and stress. And I know everybody talks about it, right? But cortisol is the variable that most women are underestimating. If we're not sleeping, we are chronically stressed. It's just, it goes together. And you can eat perfectly and still not see results when we're not getting good sleep because then we're chronically stressed and the cortisol spikes, right? Like I was talking about before. And so these are not separate issues from weight. They are the metabolic levers. So eating evenly spaced meals, making sure you're getting protein with your good low glycemic carbohydrates, and making sure that we're getting that good sleep and trying to minimize stress.
Now, what about eating when you first get up in the morning? How long do you think a woman should go before they have their first meal?
That's not just a black and white answer because there are some ladies like myself that have to do thyroid medication. And so I take my thyroid medicine and I have to wait a minimum of 2 hours before eating breakfast. And so if you're not doing thyroid medication within the first hour, if you want to, but at least about 2 hours, and for sure, make sure to eat something before you work out. I even struggled with that. I used to want to work out totally fasted, thinking that that would do better. Mm-mm. When anywhere in this menopause journey, anywhere you are, peri through post, we really need the nutrients in our body before we work out, or it spikes our cortisol too much, and then we're really basically shooting ourselves in the foot. So anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours after waking up, depending on what your specific situation is.
Yeah, I think that's so important because so many women they want to fast in the morning because they feel like, hey, this is the best time for me because I'm not hungry yet. So I can
Mhm.
get away with it. And then they end
Yep.
up stacking it at the evening and eating all the way until they go to bed. And that is not good for their sleep. So it's just a vicious
No,
cycle.
definitely, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So, what is one thing that you wish you had known earlier and that would have probably changed your whole approach to things?
So I wish that someone would have looked me in my eyes and said, the rules have changed in your body. Like, full stop. Rules have now changed. You're not going crazy. You're not doing anything wrong. The rules have changed. What worked in your 30s was built for a different hormonal body. And so eating less and pushing through harder isn't discipline in this phase. It's actually working against you. I personally spent way too long white knuckling my way through, thinking that I just needed more willpower when what I really needed was a completely different strategy. And so the women that I work with don't just lose the weight, they get their energy back, their mental clarity back. Even I love it when I have a woman who's like, yes, I want to feel better, but my primary purpose is to lose weight. The first thing that they share with me in the first few days is how much better they feel and how they are thinking more clearly and finding their words, right? And then they get their confidence back. And so I want anyone that's listening, all of you ladies, to know that it is absolutely possible when you have the right information for where your body actually is right now. And so, if you want a simple starting point, I put together a free menopause weight loss tips guide that walks you through exactly how to begin. And you can grab it. I'm sure Linda will have the link as well, but you can grab it at my website is my name, spelled LORAURICH.com/menopause dash weight dash loss dash tips.
Oh, that's great, Laura, because that is what women need is just a little bit of guidance to get going and know what they need to do with their body that changed. We need to
Mhm.
not be against our body. Yeah, everybody kind of bucks change, we just want it to be the same. But the reality is it's different. And we just
Mhm.
need to embrace that it's different and work with it and not against it.
That's right. And when we finally do realize that the rules have changed and we work with our body, then we actually get the results that we're looking for anyway. So then it becomes not a struggle. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I can't, if I do this, I'm not going to get my results. If I do this, I'll feel better and I'll get my results. Well, let me do that, right? It's going to take work anyway. So, because I think it takes way more work to not feel good. So, if we're going to have to put in the work anyway, we might as well do the work that gets us what we want.
Yes, that's so true. And I know once you start, because I went through that and I started feeling better. And once you start feeling better, you're going like, oh, it's okay. It's worth it. It's worth it to do
Mhm.
something different because I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm free again. I feel good again. So
absolutely.
it really is because I know at the start, so many women are just like, but it's so much work to change, like you just said. But ladies, you'll be so thrilled when you get things under control. And these are the kind of steps you need to take to have that and make it happen. So thank you so much, Laura. This has been so good and so informative. And ladies, be sure and pick up her guide because it is really going to be full of just what you need to hear. So thank you again,
My
Laura.
pleasure. Thanks. Thank you so much, Linda. It was my pleasure.